Yup, doing a bulk upload, otherwise there'll be no video tonight at midnight. Hey guys, what's good, what's happening, and what's going on? I'm feeling a hell of a lot better today, so that's friggin' awesome. Despite the fact that COVID's running rampant in North Bay, 100% can confirm I did not have COVID, so that's pretty sweet. It was just a freaking cold, so anybody in the comments who's like, you probably have COVID, you should get tested, don't worry about it, it's all cool, we're good. Everything is fine, we're all fine here. And besides, I pretty much self-isolated, not really, but kind of sort of, because I didn't go out anywhere after work throughout the week. I basically stayed home and played with my 3D printer, as you saw in the previous videos. Every night, I was like, I get home and I just sat in front of my computer designing stuff to make on my printer. And last night, before I ended the vlog, I showed you guys a print that was going, and it succeeded, and I'll show you the final product in a moment. Right now, I just want to rip off a coffee. Now, I did say today, I was thinking about getting the car out of the garage, and first we got to see if it starts, because I don't know if that battery held the charge all winter. I'm pretty sure I know what's killing the battery, and I'm pretty sure it's the headlight motor. I mentioned this in a previous vlog, where in 2019, when I got the car on the road, I was out bombing around town, and I ran across Rex and Chrissy, Rex 4x4 if anybody's wondering. They were out driving Chrissy's brand new car. She just bought a Hyundai Elantra, and I ran into them. I didn't even realize it was them until they messaged me, because I didn't know Chrissy had a new car. At that time there, she was driving 2006 Pontiac G6 with the 4-cylinder, the 2.4 liter. So I didn't realize it was them. They honked and I didn't know. So I ignored it. Then I get home and I get a text from Rex, and he said, we're on our way to the Bay truck stop. Why don't you come up and meet up with us? And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I got out of the house, jumped back in the car, booked it up the hill to the Bay truck stop, met up with them, had breakfast for supper, because, well, if you ever had breakfast for supper, it's the best time to have breakfast, like eggs and bacon and toast and all that shit. Well, I had this weird omelet. It was pretty spicy, but it was delicious. And then it was dark, and I went to turn my headlamps on, and the only one of them popped up. So we popped the hood, and then I had the tensioner knob too tight, and it stayed low. But the problem with those light switches is when they close, if they don't close all the way, the motor for some reason stays engaged partially. Fiero's had this problem. Trans Am's had this problem, mainly because they both use the exact same headlight motor. Now, I did replace those motors from parts from Rock Auto, or did I buy them off eBay? I think I bought them off eBay. I can't remember now. I'm thinking that's what's causing the draw. So whoa, hello Leany. I really got to invest in a better tripod system. I should just build one on Thingiverse. Side note, I know what's causing the parasitic, well, at least I think I know what's causing the parasitic draw. I could be wrong. It could be something else. I don't know if that battery is going to be alive or not, so we're going to have to go out to the garage and see if we have any power in the car, and if not, we're going to have to charge the battery today, and the car is going to have to come out tomorrow. No big deal. No big deal. Tomorrow could be garage cleanup day. I'm fine with that. Today I wouldn't mind putting in a workout, because I haven't been able to work out all week because I felt like ass, and you should never work out if you feel like ass, okay? The reason being is your body's already under a lot of stress fighting off the infection. So adding more stress to it is going to slow down your recovery rate. Now, some people say the difference. They're like, oh, if you're sick, if you have a cold, it's a good idea to work out because your body's going to sweat and you're going to kill off whatever the virus is inside. But all the medical studies that I read said it's probably best to relax, sleep, get a lot of fluids, flush out whatever's in you. But like they say, if you treat a cold, it'll be gone in a week. And if you ignore a cold, it'll be gone in 7 days. You have to let it run its course. Mondays, I'm thinking the day I got sick, because Tuesday I felt like a bag of shit. Wednesday I felt like a bag of shit. Thursday I felt a little bit better. Yesterday I felt awesome because I was feeling way better. And today, being Saturday, I feel great. So still got a little bit of a snot in my nose. My voice doesn't sound like Jesse Pinkman anymore, so that's a bonus. And life is good. But for me today, what I need to do is get these videos uploaded. We'll go out to the garage and see if the car will start. If it does start, it's coming out today. If it doesn't start, it's getting the battery charger. We also have a project that I keep forgetting about out there, and that's that tiller. We need to get that done, get that fixed up and ready to rock, because the moment the ground actually thaws enough, I want to till where the raspberry bushes were, get that all shredded up and plant some grass seed there, and see if we can extend the lawn. That would be all right. But yeah, as for my print last night, my worm print, it turned out actually fan-damtastic. Take a look at this. Top pour, Senko mold. Well, not really a Senko mold. More like a trick worm, if you will. See, the way I designed it like this on purpose. So your hook will go through the top here, probably come out around here-ish. And then this here tapers down. So I'm hoping for some serious wiggle action out of the ass end. Now you wouldn't use one of these for a wacky worm rig because it's literally designed to be fished one way. And that's the only way I ever fished them. I've never really fished a wacky rig before. And a wacky rig is when you hook the Senko in the middle so that the sides are free to float, and the worm will do like this like W pattern, so the center stays still and the worm will flutter on the way down. And it looks like it's great for bank fishing if you're on a boat and you're casting into shore, because it hits the water and it does this flop, and it looks like a worm fell out of a tree or something, or it fell off a ledge. And it gives the fish this idea that, oh frig, that thing's in distress and it can't do anything until it hits the ground. I prefer Senko fishing, or Texas rig fishing, where you sail out the friggin' your bait, let it hit the water, and then it'll go down and it'll hit the ground, and then you bounce it off the ground like a worm. The bass see that and want to strike. So this here mold should be able to let me pour 4 at a time. And I just got to clean some of the flashing off. Jesus Murphy, I just realized there was like a great big thread of it. So this here should let me clean off or fire off 4 at a time. So if I run this mold 10 times, that's 40 Senkos or 40 trick worms. I don't know what I'm going to call them. I'm thinking I'll call them the Spud Hunter, because you know me, I love to make fun of potatoes. And I don't know what to call this mold here. I was going to call it the Great Chode because I thought it was kind of funny. And yeah, so we got the swim bait and we got the Senko. That's mainly the plastics that I fished with last year. On top of that, I did fish with a creature bait. I shouldn't say that. I was using a creature bait. The which one was it? It was the crawfish one from Power Baits from Berkeley. And it did pretty good too, but I think it's because it was so filled with salt that the fish just wanted to eat it, because salt makes the smell of blood in the water, so I've been told. So that's pretty cool. But today, right now, I'm still in my pajamas. I haven't changed out. I just put a shirt on, that's all. And we're gonna go out to the garage, see if the car will start. I'm willing to bet it won't. If it doesn't start, we're gonna throw the battery charger on it, get the battery charged up. A lot of you are probably saying, Adam, you should just replace the battery in the car. It's probably dead. It's probably not gonna hold that good of a charge. It probably froze over the winter, all sorts of other stuff. Just gonna try and charge it anyway and get it going for now. I don't feel like running out the Canadian Tire and buying a new battery because I just don't feel like it. And even though I do want to go to Canadian Tire though, because I want to get some parts to finish off these ploppers and get these guys ready for paint when we do get the garage cleared and the paint does show up. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and drink my coffee, get these videos uploaded, time-stamped and all that stuff. And then I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Telling you guys, the wireless Go mic is great and all, but when you forget to turn it on, it really sucks. So I just did a whole scene where I went into the garage and got past the car and all that. It's 10 after 4 right now, and I got a little bit distracted there. Anyway, I did a whole scene where I went into the garage and tried to start the Trans Am, and no surprise, it didn't start. I was not shocked by this one bit, because I know that it does have a problem with the power. So sure enough, we got the we had to get the charger on it, but I kind of did a stupid and literally had to do the limbo to get the charger onto it, or get around the charger afterwards. Then I realized that I also did a stupid, because I wanted to grab my roll of 20 gauge wire and bring it into the house to start wiring up those baits and ready them for paint. And I completely forgot to grab the wire, which means I got a little bit of work ahead of me tonight to try and get back in there and grab them. I may just be lazy and pop the bay door and go the other way. But I got to get all my ice fishing shit out of the way first, because it's in the way. And I probably won't be using that till next year. Maybe, we'll see. I only went out ice fishing 3 times this year. And honestly, it was like 3 of the worst times I ever had ice fishing, because I didn't catch shit and it was really not that much fun. So will I go next year? We'll see. We'll see. But I figure we'll go get those swivels. I grabbed a like a random bike sitting at the side of the road. That's a great way for a meth head to come along and steal it. But yeah, we'll go get those swivels. I brought the Whopper Plopper body with me just so I can get an idea, because I don't know what's going to fit in there. Like this Whopper Plopper body that I'm printing is one from Thingiverse. It's not one that I built. It's actually a Thingiverse model. and the guy never mentions what size barrel swivel to put in it. Like honestly, I was almost tempted just to take some wire and twist a hoop in one end and twist a hoop in the other end and just call it a freaking day. Hang a hook hanger off of that and that'd be good enough. We'll try it their way. I think the idea for the barrel swivel is so that the hook can spin, so that if you hook a fish on the bottom, they can't stress the wire by spinning it and breaking it. I came across, wow, Adam, smarten up. Came across some crankbait molds that are 2 parts, so you got to glue them together. And a lot of people don't like using those style because if you use shit glue, water gets in there and then it just messes up the entire action. But they have like the wire slots built into them, so you can just run your wire. So you bend it all to perfection and then run your wire and glue it in place and glue everything down, and then the through wire offers a lot more support for your hook hangers and all that. And I was thinking about trying to print some of those up as an alternative. You know, try everything. Like when you got a 3D printer, those options are there. You can literally try any print that's available on Thingiverse, or even make your own shit and try those. Like the lure molds, I made those myself using Tinkercad, which you saw in a previous video. That's what I was doing last night while I was printing. I was chatting with Nikki and I'm dicking around on Tinkercad, designing those molds, putting a rounded base on the bottom of them, tapering it, and then doing the that pattern where it goes thick in the front and then it comes down and then it busts out in the ass end, hoping that tail end catches some water and flippy flaps pretty good in the water while I'm fishing. Like I said, I still got to buy some plastisol and some dyes, and I'm probably going to do that there in the very near future. I just got to figure out how to order from this company. They're based out of Kitchener, Ontario. So the shipping shouldn't take that long. Should be able to get it pretty quick. And they also sell hard baits too, so you can just buy them and paint them. Why buy that when I can just make my own for cheaper? And like I said on the video yesterday, it's like, I'm not gonna open up a bait shop because there's like 5 that just opened and they're all making the same bullshit. I'm probably gonna be the only guy making unique stuff, but I really don't want to get into selling baits because if I have to ship them, that's gonna get me big time. Probably gonna sneeze. So yeah, we'll go to Canadian Tire, we'll grab the swivels, then we'll go home. And I just wanna get these things going. I might grab some treble hooks too because I can't find mine, like the ones that I had from that I got in the mail that one time, and I know I got them in the mail because I found the friggin' video and there was treble hooks in there and I just have no freaking idea where I put them. I thought I put them on the shelf with the split rings, but I guess I didn't because they're not on the shelf with the split rings. So I thought maybe they fell behind. That's why I did that whole cleanup that one time on the grinder area and got everything out of there and then rehung the shelf with the new stuff with the arms so that it would be more sturdy. But I can't find it for the life of me where the hell those friggin' trebles went. So I might just pick up a pack of trebles here just so we can get these things rigged. But I don't want the treble hooks on them when I paint them. I just want them to be just the wire ties because I kind of ran out of treble hooks. I got some, but they're really big, way too big for these baits. Like your treble hook should not be bigger than your bait, at least in my brain. I could be wrong. I'm usually wrong. I don't know. We'll go to Canadian Tire, see what we can find. I got a tickle in my nose. Oh man, here we go. Everybody around me is about to strap on a COVID mask when I sneeze. So yeah, COVID cases are ramping up in Ontario. I'm waiting to see when they drop the idea for mask mandate and my boss tells me I need to start working from home full time again. I was actually enjoying myself. My first week in the office was actually pretty good except for getting sick. I'll be interested to see how this happens. If they decide to reverse the everybody back to the office for 2 days a week to everybody work from home until we say. Like I don't mind working from home, but I actually enjoy it in the office because it's nice to be social sometimes because no human should be isolated from other people for long periods of time. It's also nice seeing something other than the 4 walls of my house. All right, here we are. Well, the freaking Canadian Tire. I've never eaten at that Lot 88. I heard it's pretty good, but it's also very spendy. It's like one of those rich people's, you don't push through, stop. Holy piss. The way he approached that friggin' intersection, I thought he was just gonna punch it. Anyway, I'm gonna use my standard parking of way at the back of the lot. And boom, there goes the dynamite. All right, let's go into Canadian Tire, get what we need to get, and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, we're back. Start up the truck. Let's go home. I was almost tempted to go over to A&W and buy some teen burgers. We'll avoid doing that. We will avoid going to A&W. I still got to try out Dairy Queen's burgers. Everybody tells me they're fantastic. I've never tried them yet. I honestly try to avoid eating fast food. But I can honestly say throughout this whole pandemic, a lot of my friends did it, but I never did it. I've never used that skip the dishes service or DoorDash or anything. It was used one time when I was at Clifford's house. They ordered a bunch of sushi with it, and I laughed because I just got there, got into the house, took off my shoes, and then the doorbell rang, and I turned around and I opened the door to see who was there, and it was just food. And I'm like, are you sure you ordered skip the dishes and not DoorDash? And he's like, why? I'm like, is he gone? Like, he gone. He didn't even hang around or nothing. Like, he just dropped the shit off, rang the doorbell, and bounced. So, my turn yet? So, I sized up the best I could these Whopper Ploppers to the swivels, and it looks like they take a size 10. So, here's hoping this works. Like I said, when I get back home, I'm going to have to go back into the garage and grab that spool of line. By that spool of line, I mean that spool of wire. I also bought some Berkeley 30-pound braid. I'm going to put it on that rod I have in the bedroom. That's something else I was thinking about, that painting stand. That'd be great with a clamp. If I attach it to my desk, I can spool rods in there and just sit the spool on the thing. It's like when I'm in the garage and I'm spooling line, and I stick a screwdriver in my vise and I put the spool on it. 42 more days till fishing. Still got plenty of time to get shit organized. Still got plenty of time. Next weekend's going to be a 4-day weekend. Next weekend's friggin' Easter. Well, by the time you guys watch this, Easter's already happening, but, you know, whatever. I like having these videos in advance because then on days when I just don't feel like editing, I don't have to like put that extra chore on me. I can just do it whenever I want. But mind you, I could do that anyway and just skip days and video uploads. But I kind of like doing the everyday video and every day having it being something a little different. Like today is just me trying to get these Whopper Ploppers set up and ready to rock. And tomorrow is going to be dicking around with the car. Probably going to take it for a rip. Hopefully tomorrow's weather's nice. They're calling for sun tomorrow. It's supposed to be sunny and nice out. So I'm really hoping that tomorrow we can fire up the car, get it out of the garage, and take it for a rip. Like really just friggin' let her have it. See how she feels. Hopefully she's good. Good in the hood. Kind of anxious to get back in her again. It's so funny, like you go from driving this truck that sits so high off the ground, then you get in that car and you feel like you're dragging your ass on the pavement because it's so low to the ground. It's wow, why is it so smoky over here? Somebody must be doing some burning out of season. Jesus, Murphy. Oh yeah, that's definitely burning. You can smell it. Ugh. You're not supposed to be burning between these times of days. Wow, that stinks. Whatever they're burning is not good unless it's their house, and that's really not good. But yeah, you're not supposed to be burning yard debris in city limits, but I guess if nobody checks in on it, nobody cares. Not my pig, not my farm. Oh, I'm sure if their neighbors are annoyed by it, they'll call the friggin' fire department. Yeah, well, I'm going to go home and play with these Whopper Ploppers and try and get them all situated and try and get I want to get the crankbait all wired up properly. I bought some Gorilla Glue super glue, so I'm going to glue in the line ties and all that and get them all ready to rock so that they're ready for paint, because my paint should be here, I'm hoping, later next week. And then I got to get my airbrush out. I want to run it through the ultrasonic cleaner, clean it right out and get that there back up to snuff so that next week we can maybe get some baits looking like baits again. I think that'd be pretty awesome. Then once the car's out of the garage, I can get my bike out of the shed, check the tire pressure, pump them up, and maybe go for a ride too. That'd be all right. It's been a while since I've ridden a bike. I know the kids are out right now riding. Waylon messaged me and he's like, hey, we need an Allen key. My handlebars are loose. And I'm like, why don't you guys have a toolkit on you? Like Dollarama at $3, you can buy an Allen key set, like the one that I tried to use on the 3D printer. But the 3D printer's in metric and that thing's in imperial, so I couldn't find the one to fit it. That's all they really need. Holy shit, I thought that was a deer. It's just a really big friggin' German Shepherd. Holy crap, that's a big dog. Compared to Oreo. Oreo's about the size of his head. But yeah, I get the bike out and go for a little rip snot. The bike I'm actually thinking about buying is a Norco Storm 3. There's a place down by Nikki's house called Bikeland, and they have them. And we're hoping, because all three of us are going to go in and buy bikes, that we can get them for dirt cheap. Those are bifolding doors. I could probably use those. Okay, I got to stop picking up other people's garbage. Anyway, guys, I'm almost home. I'll talk to you when I get there. All right, we are home. No, I got to get into that garage and grab that wire because I couldn't believe, man, at Canadian Tire, how many people were walking their dogs in the store. Like, there was a lot of people in the store walking their dogs. And it's nice to see that stores are not giving two shits about people bringing their dogs in, because that's really appreciative. I know Oriole likes to come shopping. Now I gotta maneuver around this shit. I need a bigger garage or a dedicated storage for the car. I should be able to weasel by here. That works. There we go. Now, are you the 20 gauge or are you the 22? 20 gauge. Perfect. A little bit too thick for what I want, but drills make things thinner. Or, you know, and when you twist it, it gets thinner too. Because the only other wire I have is this shit here, and it's 22 gauge galvanized, or 16 gauge galvanized steel. And when I did the first crankbait ever, that's what I used. And it was not fun. At least this stuff here is somewhat pliable, and I can work with it. What I wish I did was what I wish I didn't do, I should say, is I wish I didn't throw away all my vaping line when I had all that stainless steel, because I had 22 gauge stainless steel for vaping, and that would have been ideal for what I want to do. So that's on me for throwing that out. You know what? I'm going to grab these things too and throw them in the new fishing bag, these tees. I probably have some crap over here that I can probably throw in there as well, that I just have laying around. Like these things, I'll throw them in there too. Do I have anything else in here that I can? I got this trilene monofilament, never used it. I bought it to do something, I can't remember what. I'd really wish I could find those treble hooks. Seeing how I just bought some treble hooks, I figured that because I just bought some, they would just magically show up. They probably fell behind the filing cabinet. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it one bit. All right, well anyway, I'm gonna close up this garage, and I got my bag, I got everything. All right, let's go in the house, and probably have to let the dog out, and I'll talk to you in a bit. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? It's friggin' 1 o'clock in the morning. Talk about a broken up vlog. But no, I just got off the phone with Nikki. She called again, and we're chatting. Once again, 3D printer's going. I'm printing up a jerk bait of some fashion. We're gonna get that there printed off and good to go. Chatting with Logan, and I'm like, hey bro, would you fish a 22 millimeter? That's not a 22 millimeter bait, but I said, would you fish a 22 millimeter bait? And I extended that thing out to the full size of the bed. And he's like, oh yeah, that'd be great for muskie. So I might print him up one. But I printed this guy up with a new PLA, the transparent PLA, to see how it would work out. And it worked out pretty damn good, I do say so myself. I did have a bit of an issue with the printer earlier tonight. I had Nikki on the phone while I was trying to diagnose it, and I figured out the problem is what I was trying to print. I literally had 3 crankbaits, 2 of the smaller jerk baits, and then 2 of the bigger ones, and it was causing this stringing mess. So I gave up and decided to just stick to smaller prints, printing off 1 bait at a time, and that would be better. So I gotta pee. Now there's one thing I can tell you about that 3D printer that kind of sucks, and that's the bed leveling springs. The stock ones they come with are like, I'm not gonna lie, they're super shitty. Not the greatest springs out there. And the problem is friggin' snow. Yeah, we got snow again, guys. Snowed. Lovely. Remember when I said I was gonna take out the car and it didn't start? It probably didn't start because of that. I probably knew. Mind you, that wouldn't do shit to it, and it's gonna be gone in the morning anyway. But friggin' snow. Friggin' snow. Like, friggin' snow. Anyway, I wanted to go into the garage, see about grabbing some sandpaper. But no, the springs that the Ender come with, the Ender 3, they're not exactly the greatest. Do I have sandpaper over here? Or do I gotta walk all the way back there and see if I have any there? Probably gotta walk all the way back there and see if I have any there. Is that sandpaper? Beauty! What are you? 180 grit? Good enough, good stuff. I wanna sand down that. But I got the hardware in the Whopper Ploppers. But yeah, the springs, I literally have to calibrate it after every couple prints, especially if I have a stubborn situation. Like for instance, getting the worm mold off of the bait, off the plate. Because it was such a wide surface, it really adhered to the glass build surface. So I looked it up online, and somebody was like, take your spatula, something, not a hammer, but something hammer-like, and give it some taps to get your spatula underneath it, and then it should release. So I literally used my Cabela's pocket knife as a hammering tool, and that worked out. Just tap, 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 tap. Because some people, what they'll do, build surfaces have been broken doing this, is they'll pull back and they'll just shiv it in there, right? But the problem is the build surface is literally held on with these 2 metal clips that are not the greatest. So the build surface comes off, hits the ground, shatters, because it's glass with a laminate coat on the top of it. And I don't think you can buy those. You probably can from the Ender site, but other people use, like, there's different build platforms you can buy. You can buy these mats, flexible mat surface, that makes it really easy to take the build off when it's done, but apparently the glass is the best way to go. I was having a problem tonight. I was trying to print off. I made a pack of baits, a 7-pack. It was 2 of the smaller jerks, 2 of the larger jerks, and 4 cranks. But I couldn't get the filament to adhere to the surface. It kept falling off, like then bunching up. And I was fighting with it for friggin' ever, trying to get it to go, and it just wouldn't go. And then I was like, okay, well, let's try and just doing something simple that we know works. Let's just try printing a crankbait. Crankbait worked fine. So it's something to do with the fact that I put too much shit on the build plate, and it was trying to deal with too much, and it was a problem. I also noticed with that PLA, PLA Plus, that my stock settings of 200 degrees Celsius, the bed temperature of 60 is not enough. So I started with, like, the first mold I ever printed with it was the swim bait mold, and it was a box. So that had no problem. The second mold I printed with it was the worms, the chode, and what did I call the friggin' worms? I can't remember now. Did we give them a name? Yeah, I called the swim bait, I called the little chode. I'm gonna make a 5-inch version called the big chode. And then the worms, I think I'm gonna call them the spud busters, because I always, every time I catch a bass, I call it a potato. I'm like, look at this potato. So spud buster is a great name for it, right? I don't know. It's stupid, but that's fine. Anyway, I'm just waiting for the dog to come back in. And then, yeah, I'll show you the Whopper Ploppers. We got the hardware in it. Come on, dude. He was just out there staring at nothing. Get this thing off of you. So tonight I ended up going to independent grocers, and I picked up some chicken for supper and decided to dabble in the beers. I was going to do a live stream tonight. Then I was like, I just don't feel like playing video games. I really don't. I just want to play with my 3D printer. And then Nikki called, so that really canceled the live stream, because mind you, I could have just had her on the phone while live streaming, and you guys probably would have got a kick out of that. But yeah, like I said, right now we're just printing off a jerk bait. Let's get you guys situated here. This is the sample PLA crankbait. Got the line tie in, and it's in there good. Got the back line tie in there, it's in there good. Belly line tie in there good. I didn't do anything with that hole. Probably gonna fill it with baking soda and super glue. Baking soda's in the garage. Probably should have grabbed that. We got this mark here on the side, and I'm wondering if we can sand that down. The answer is yes. Okay, cool. That will sand down. Nice, nice. So that's pretty sweet. Now, when I did the Whopper Ploppers, I should have read the instructions. This is not my mold. This is one I found on Thingiverse. And as you can see, there's a lot of play between the tail here. And that's because I didn't do it right. You're supposed to hook it in the front first. I threw some of this Gorilla Glue pen stuff into the hole to secure it, and then I kind of glued the bead on the back. Like, it totally spins, and it spins against the back end too. Like, it's just a bit of a gap here, so it's quite the travel distance between the hooks too. And this thing down here is the swivel, and let me tell you how hard that was to put in this bait, because you put it in there and then you got to feed your line through, and if you didn't get it right, it just shot past it. So it was a real pain in the ass. And it turns out you need a size 9 swivel, but I couldn't find size 9. Size 10, and then it went down to size 7. Size 7 was too large, size 10 looked right, got size 10. So this is the first one I put together, and it kind of looks cheap. This is the second one I put together. This one looks a hell of a lot better. So this is gonna, I've never fished a Whopper Plopper before. I've seen them fish. I laughed last year when Logan sent one out and he's reeling it back in, because literally all you hear is plop, 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 plop. That's where they get their name from. This little propeller in the back makes a lot of noise in the water. Anybody who fishes knows, because they probably had them. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do some fine sanding on these just to get the support off, because you can see like it's not quite shaped right. And that's due to the 3D printer, the way they shape them. But I can fix that with some sandpaper. Not a big deal. Get that nice and rounded off and looking good. Shouldn't distort the action too bad. But yeah, I never installed the split rings on it and the hooks yet, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook it onto the back here, cover that bead with some masking tape, then we're gonna spray it. What am I gonna spray it? I don't know. I got a bunch of paints coming in the mail. They should be here Monday, and then we'll figure that out then. Well, once we get the car out of the garage and the temperature's good. Worst case, I guess I could run my heater in the garage, my propane heater, and get the garage temperature up to par. I know it's going to cause humidity, but at least the garage will be nice and warm to paint in. And we can get these guys painted up, clear coat them, maybe put some eyeballs on them, make them look pretty, get them ready to send out on the water in 42 days, in 41 days. It's the 10th. 41 days. The countdown continues, boys. The countdown continues. I should just start a countdown at the beginning of the vlog. 41 days before opener. Mind you, I'm like 5 days in advance or some shit, so that doesn't make sense. But anyway, guys, so that's the Whopper Ploppers. Like, they're fully rigged right now. I just got to sand off a lot of the rough edges, and once that's all said and done, we're good to go. But as for this vlog, guys, it was kind of weird today because I ended up talking with Nikki this morning for like 3 hours, and then tonight for like 5. So I didn't really do much filming, just did a bunch of shit. I bought some treble hooks from Canadian Tire as well. I picked some VMCs up. I like these. They're pretty sharp. They go in, they don't come out. Logan can attest to that because he got one stuck in his hand last year and it didn't come out, and he had to cut himself to get it out. Not a good time. Treble hooks suck, but whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna put these here on these baits and it should be good for catching fish. I bought, like I said, some Berkeley 30-pound test, and I put it on the telescopic rod so that we have a rod to use. I was gonna go out tonight in the backyard with my test bait, which is basically just a blank bait that has no hooks on it, and cast it around the backyard and just see what it feels like. But I didn't because I got on a phone call. So yeah, that's the thing. And Nikki's probably watching this and laughing because she's like, "Are you gonna blame it your vlog being delayed on me?" And I'm like, "Yup." And she's like, "Yay!" But all in all, I think with printing my own baits and pouring my own baits and those 2 mystery tackle boxes, the one I already got and the one I should be getting in early May, we're going to have a lot of lures and stuff to use come opening day. Plus, I got all the shit I got in the garage in the other backpack, so we got tons of fishing shit to use. It's going to be a good time. But I kind of want to get away from buying store-bought stuff and get more into making my own shit, because that's where the real fun is, right? So anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and shut her down here. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, click that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. And until next time, guys, remember, live it to win it. And peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.